Okay. Here we go again. So let's check out. Yeah, I guess we can do. Yeah, custom. So last time we were building out the custom entities or entity type editors, or the editor. Let's see where we are here. So yeah, we did the document stuff and the data structure. We fixed some issues as well with the strings and whatnot, and some crashes there. Some of the like inputs that were not behaving correctly, but now that works. So yeah, so we started on this data structure, and I believe we also, I didn't write that down, but we also got to the entity editor as well. So you're able to add new entity, which is basically using the assets manager already. So, and this one is like already, yeah, I don't think we really need to worry about this. The deletion will come from assets managers. You can just delete like the file. Right now we don't have that in Assets Manager, but you can delete the file from outside and it will still count as sort of deleting it. Well, we're not like listening to the file event or anything like that, but you can do it if you want. And restart the editor. Okay, so yeah, so we're able to add the new entity. We're able to see them, but this is sort of built in the Assets Manager already, so I'm just gonna delete this. Well, for the adding, you have to actually do a bunch of stuff, but yeah, so that's done. And then we have the details, so we can set the name, we can set the icon, we can set the size. The only thing we don't have is the property editor. And we also don't have a way of using these entities in the scene. So that's what I'm thinking that we want to do next. Is now we have a way to define and create these entities, and then we want to be able to add them into the scene. So I think we will add some items here. So we want to grab basically all entities. Well, the thing is here, like, how do we want to add them? Right now, the way you let's see, I need to. Right now, the way you actually add entities into the scene is by dragging them. I'm gonna show you here once it starts. There we go. So let's open up a scene here. Oops. Okay, this one is apparently broken. So let's see if we can find one that is not broken. Here. Okay. Strange that it was broken. Yeah, I have to look into that. I want to find some other, maybe the village. No, this one. No. I thought that we did fix some of these. Which one was it? Wait, where is it? Which one did we fix? Okay, let me. It felt like it was working for one of these, or maybe I open a time map. Oh, so the time map works but not the scene. Okay, so I think I have to fix that. So what is the issue with the scenes? Can we see that? So at 12 for forest entrance 2, so let's check that. Forest entrance 2. at 12. Okay, so here we can see, again, we have items. So this is an array list unmanaged. I'm just gonna search for items. Okay, so that's the only thing. So I think I'm gonna write a quick script here. Let's check. Yeah, I have this update time map. So let's actually just do cat. And then we remove it, so we can see what the thing will be. So let's make a new thing here. So we will take in that out to TMP, and then so we're basically taking in the JSON file, and we just wanna redo this thing. So entities is the field, so it's gonna be entities. Well, it's gonna be let's see, do we have anything else? No. Okay, well, to be sure that we don't mess anything up, you can do dot, which is the current thing, and then plus, like we do up here, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna change entities, so this will merge, this stands for the entire object, and then you make a new object here with the same key for entities, and the plus will merge them together so that this one will overwrite the entities on the left one. And as since we're using a dot here, we're gonna get any other fields if they were to exist as well. So yeah, so now we have entities, and what we want to do is we actually just want to say the items, and I think that's it. We just want to grab the items part because that's the array part. So if we run this now on forced entrance to scene, we can see here that we actually get entities as a list now, and there's nothing called items in here. So that should be a good place to start. So let's actually do this now instead. Let's see, let's comment this out and move that in. Okay. Okay. So now let's try and open forced entrance to, there we go. Okay, so that was it. So let's do that for the rest of these scenes. So we should have forced entrance scene, forced hill. What else do we have? We have test image. We have, so I'm just basically the reason why it's wrong is because I've copied it from I've changed how the arrays are represented in JSON. So we need to change these files. Okay, so that is a lot of scenes. Yeah, and then we can just do it if we find a scene that doesn't work. Okay, this one doesn't work. Forced entrance, okay. Forced entrance. Okay, so that one actually had another issue. Great. Okay. Now I'm back to messing things up here. Let's remove this. Let's open up Kottefolket, forest entrance scene. Okay, so let's look here. We got entities, that's a list, that's fine. We have a bunch of stuff. Let's check where it 801. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is like the same, if it's working the same. Like I'm going to the 801 byte. I'm not sure if this number is actually correct. But because it feels like it's going into, it's like a weird thing. But let's see if we can find, do we have items anywhere else or capacity? No. So what is the difference? I mean, we're in this entity here, which is an exit entity. It has a specific thing here. Let's see if we can find this. So scene file name. Yeah, so we have scene file name in the exit thing. Could not open document. Forest entrance. Yeah. Wait, this is the wrong file. Time map. Oh, it's trying to open up the time map. Right, so the file name here is wrong. This needs to be projects. And then right, we need to actually change these out. So let's actually see. We'll do sig. We'll find sig game editor, and then we will replace that with sig game editor and with projects. Actually, we need 2 slashes here. Projects. There we go. And then we do /c so we can choose which ones we want to do. And that should be fine as well. So we need to update all references and all references to any JSON files here. So time map, and these should really be relative. Now I think it's time to probably make this relative as well, because they should only be able to reference things in the project folder, because it worked from a miracle now, because all the files were there where they actually were before. But as you can see, for this one it didn't work because forest entrance .timemap.json was in the wrong format, so it crashed. So I have to go through all of these scenes and let's see. So let's do actually it's gonna be scene. Okay, so I want to open up all of these and basically do the oops. This thing. Yes. Okay, so that's that one. We already did this one. I guess I can just execute it without the condition there. This one has. Okay. So now let's see if we can open. Well, this one opened up, no problem. Yeah. We're opening up all of these. Well, this one didn't work. Forest Mound entrance. Oh, I don't think I have run the update on that. There we go. There we go. Now that works as well. Oh, and this one, forest. Okay, we went on a little adventure here. Oh, test doesn't work. Text that actually crashes, so that's interesting. Maybe I should try and prevent that from happening. Let's see what the crash is. Could not get document type from file path. Okay. So I think I want to have this not crash, but instead just have an error message showing this. So this would be document 127. Yeah. So it's trying to get the tag file path. We'll do an error here, and then do we have any type of error that we return? Document save error. I guess we can just make it specific here. Document get tag. Okay, maybe this should be just like a generic document error or something. Document error. Let's put this up here. We'll just say like yeah, bad file name or something. Bad file. Yeah. Invalid file. Or file name. File extension not supported. Let's have that. Or maybe it doesn't really matter. File extension invalid. Let's just say no. Okay. So if it happens, we simply return document error extension invalid instead of doing this. Okay. So now we have to check wherever this is happening. So we have a couple of different places here. I guess we can just try this one. Should be fine. That should actually bubble up now and fix that issue. What's going on here? Right, requesting document. So I guess technically it could fail here as well. But if it fails, yeah, we don't have it. Like, we should have it as an entry. Wait, it's get or put. So we don't, maybe not have it as an entry. I guess we can just return null. We should really have, this should really, oh yeah, so let's actually do the whole catch thing. So we should have like an error, show error, right? Yeah. So could not open document. There we go. Okay. And then, right. So here, what's going on here? So here we're creating a node, right? So if we open a file, or if there is a file that exists that has like a invalid extension that we don't recognize, it's gonna crash here. Well, it did crash. I'm just checking where we call this. We call it from reading a directory. So this is where we put all, like, list all the files in the directory. And so we're reading through it, and we are creating a node here. So this would actually probably crash as well, because we're creating this node here, but if it's not a valid sort of one of our documents that we've defined, this is crashing it. So yeah, I think we just don't add it to the list if we don't recognize it, maybe. So if this fails, then we continue, I think, yeah. So let's have this be able to fail, and we do a try there. Oh, but then if, okay, so if there's an error, then we wanna, well, actually we can just try this first, I guess. So document type is equal to this, and then catch. Actually, it's gonna be try. Yeah. Try this. So if it fails, it just exits out with an error. If it succeeds, then we go ahead and duplicate and all that. Okay. So we don't have to catch the error in the middle of doing stuff here. Okay. So now this can fail. So we have to account for that. Let's go here. So if we fail here, I think we just do continue. Yeah. And let's see where else. So append a new file. So it probably shouldn't fail here. So I'm gonna just do catch unreachable, because we are calling this with our own, from within the code. So it shouldn't fail. And if it fails, we can catch it during development. So we can just catch unreachable. That should be fine. Okay. Now, if we try and open this again, we get a compilation error. context 418. This needs to be a semicolon there. Okay, so let's open up, which one was a test, I think, test 2. There we go. So now we get this error. I should really fix the thing here as well. I think I actually know how to do it. Oh, dismissed actually crashed it. Oh, we get a lot of these. Wow, okay, so I think we're stuck in an infinite loop somewhere. So what state are we in here is the question. So we open the scene. Or do we have... So open, no, not open project. Yeah, open file node. So we're doing this. We're opening the editor. We are creating a new editor here. We're requesting the document, so that the document, this should fail, I think. Yeah, we're going in here and we're failing could not show open document. Why is it going in here again is the question. So it fails and then returns null. And if it's null, then we just return, we'll kill off the editor and return here. Why does it go in there again? Right. Document. Right. Okay. So we should also do this because we added it. We should remove it as well. Let's see if that's the issue. Do we get the same error? Yes. Is it an error? Right, so now I think we have the scene open. So we have an editor, that's where the scene is open, but it doesn't yeah, let's actually say null there. So we don't have a thing open, and then we open it. It actually opens the editor, so it actually Oh, I see. So it can open the scene, but then there's a thing in here that it cannot open. Okay. So it's like when we have the scene open. So let's go to layout scene. We are requesting a document somewhere, or a document or a texture somewhere. Maybe not. Or do we do it in the main layout function? No. Would be good to know where it's getting called from. But let's, because I want to catch this error, not have it like be always an error. So that's why I want to try and fix this, because what we could do is just fix the actual JSON file and make the error go away. But I want to find why this error like happens, so we can not have this weird behavior. Maybe that's not worth it though. I think it might be here. Like, I'm trying to get a texture. Yeah, so this one actually, wait, this one does this. Yeah, we're getting the textures like hard coded here. Right. Which we don't really need. We can move this to the resource system now, because we have texture documents. But this is not actually the issue either. So here we're doing it. So it might be this time map request that's going wrong here. So I think if this goes wrong and we don't get a document, what we want to do is not only return, we actually want to set the file name here to be or null, so we don't get in here again and do the same thing. Because yeah, I think that's gonna be it. And then we show a error message so that you can deal with it. Okay. So this is gonna be the time. That's not actually the document, right? Or is it? Yes, it is. Okay. So let's just grab the document. That's gonna be this, or else. No, not or else. Well, yes, or else. If we don't get anything, that means something went wrong. So then we just say that this is gonna be. And I realize this doesn't work really well with like lazy loading, because we don't really know if anything went wrong. So when we implement lazy load, we probably want to change the return of this to be more complex than just null, and so you would have like a status and a possible value and stuff like that. But anyway, so this would be the file name, and we simply set this then to be null. And then we also want to return, because it's gonna fail here. So this is the document. No. This is the document. Wait. Yeah, that's the document. Okay. So now when we open this, it should show the error message once. Cannot assign to constant. I thought I'd changed it. Oh, this needs to be. I know we probably need, yeah. Entity needs to be mutable. So oh, we're creating a new entity. Right, that's when we, okay. When we do a drag payload. We're doing it each, okay, so this, okay, I'm not gonna worry about that. And here we can do this. Okay, so if we click here, it disappears. As you can see, we see the entities here, but not the time map. If I exit and start again, we get the same error. So the time map is the thing that has an issue. Also, we have a leak here, so let's see if we can fix that real quick. So we have seen persistent data. In the clone function, okay. Wait. Oh, here. If we have a file name, we duplicate it, otherwise no. So are we not? Oh yeah, we should also set this to null. Oh, because we are setting it to null without remove. Okay, yeah. So we actually have to free it as well, where we, yeah. So when we catch the error, where was that actually? It was here. No. Oh yeah, timeout. So here, if we set it to null, we should also deallocate it. So, wait, do we have allocator here? No. So we actually, well, we have the context, so we can use that. Context, allocator, and free time up. File name. There we go. Cannot assign to constant. Wait, see persistent data. Right, so let's make this work like that. What's happening here? All right. So it should exist. I wish you could just use that and yeah. Okay, there we go. So we get this, we dismiss that, we exit, and now we don't have a leak. Great. Okay, now let's see what. Yeah, so we only get this once, and then yeah, and we should. It says document nothing as well, so I think there's something wrong here. So of course, let's actually open up the scene file, which is test2.scene. So yeah, the time app actually has nothing here, so we'll set this to null and start. Okay, there we go. And we can set the time map to be something else. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Save. And there we go. Let's actually try the play button here. Is this? I forgot what this was called. Oh, the key is weird now. Yeah. This one is weird now. Why is that? I should probably make this into one of those strings, like string Z thing. Yeah. Let's do that. So we follow this pattern here, and the key, let's just make 32 the max. It doesn't have to be anything more than that. Okay. Let's see, sync persistent data. Let's check out animation for reference. So it's basically, we don't need to do all of this. We can do, well, we'll see, because this formatting thing, we might actually implement this. So let's actually do that. Let's do init fmt, and this will be a string, which is a comp time. I think you say comp time here, and then argument, which is any type, and then we get back self, and then yeah, I think we'll just make same thing here. So we got format, compile. So this is so that we can more easily format the string. So this will basically be just passing it in here, format, and then this would be arguments. So we're basically just calling this here. And so we can also use it here, so we can say self set format, and the format is that, and the arguments is slice2, slice0. There we go. And then up here at initialize format, we will, I guess we'll do the same thing as we do here and use set format instead. Format args. Okay. Right. So let's go back here. Right, so now we say key is going to be dot init format. So we can remove this now because we're on SIG 0.14, so we can remove that. Also we can remove this. Okay. Init format S, and then we copy this thing. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Right. So that's the initialization. Now we need to, yeah, the deinitialize, we just say this. So basically this string contraption is to make it easier to work with in GUI, which is the UI library, and also since it's C, interfaces with C, it has zero terminated built in as well, and it also interfaces nicely with JSON serialization. So that's basically what this string struct is doing. So it's basically like a specialized string struct that I'm using for this specific setup in this project here. So the cloning will be just, yeah, we can use clone as well. Self key dot clone. All right. Now we have this, so we're not going to use this one anymore. I'm just going to delete that. But I am going to copy this. And this is the only place where it's used, so I'm gonna see input text key. Yeah, so now this is instead dot key dot, wait, what? No, that's not right. I think my LSP is bugging out. Yeah, okay. And now we can say .buffer instead. Okay, great. Okay, so let's try this again. We got a compile error. Persistent data. 32. And the allocator is not used anymore. It should be used. I think we need allocator. Yeah, we need allocator here. Animation. Wait. Type in a mirror. It's not a function. What? Wait, I thought you could do this. No, I'm pretty sure you can do that. Do I have to do this? No. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to do this. Unless it's like a bug in, or I'm using it wrong, but so what if I delete the catch unreachable? Will this thing complain? Because I'm doing the same thing here. I'm saying .init, that works. And now it says expected error, or yeah, and not error. So it is working. So you can't have a catch here. Okay. I'm just gonna Google quickly here. Declaration literal catch. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna give up here and I'm just gonna say array list frame. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to do this. Okay. Now I'll get some other error here. But this is scene, persistent data, 144. No member function name cloned. What? I'm pretty sure I saw clone here. Or was I dreaming? Maybe I looked at something else. Well, I guess we can just do initialize. .init. Yeah, let's do that. Unused. Oh yeah, we need allocators. 150. Right. Ingui commit. Span. What did this do? Takes a sentinel, determine the point, returns the slice, iterating over the memory to find the sentinel, determine the length, pointer attributes such as constant preserved. Okay, so that one actually does slice too, but it so what pointer, if it checks if it's optional as well. Okay, if it's optional, it's checking if it is null, and then returns null. In that case it returns a span of the not null. Okay, and then we have the result is the span. There we go. Length. So it's grabbing the length. Oh, I didn't actually know that there was like a length function that you could use. Stedman length, okay. And then pointer info, pointers, okay. So it's basically doing the same thing as slice 2, which I've been using, or for the same purpose at least. And I actually didn't remember that I used it here, but it automatically detects that it's basically a nicer version to use for this specific purpose if you want to just do that. But I think, I mean, I already have a way to do it right now, so I'll just use my way, which is just .slice. But wait, what will this actually do? No, I don't want to do this. I don't think we need this. Actually. Because we're already editing the buffer immediately, so I'm not sure why we would need this here. I'm just gonna delete that. I think I just had it because, yeah, I had a worse way of dealing with this problem. Let's just move these things. Commit. Here we got the same thing here. Okay, so let's actually do the same thing here. So the metadata, which we're gonna be removing anyway, but yeah, we're not gonna need this. This one we will simply do .init allocator. Oh my god, we're doing like a whole bunch of stuff here. This is just gonna be like this. We don't need to do any of this. Okay. Right. This is just going to be initialized with the allocator and an empty string. Yeah. And then we can just say, we don't even need this anymore. We can just say string z. Yeah. There we go. And now we're gonna get a whole bunch of compile errors. So we'll just look at all that. Metadata, yeah, so not pointer, we're gonna do push pointer ID. Well, it's gonna be buffer pointer. Or just a pointer to that as well. We can just do this also. Yeah. I mean, we could. Yeah. No, that's fine. And we don't have metadata buffer. We are going to do metadata buffer instead. Okay. That's that, and then I think that's it actually. Okay. Probably gonna get some compilation errors, but we'll see. No? Okay. So that was for both the metadata, which we can see here works. I'm just gonna add some things. Save it, load, and there we go. It's there. Let's remove that. We'll add a new entrance. Oh, it crashed. Yeah, okay. No space left. I've seen this before. So, right. Let's go to string. All right, so it's in here. Now, why would this not work? So we are allocating first, then we're setting, and then we return the result. So what's going on? What's happening in here? We're creating a new entity. Right. Entrance. No space left. So could this be another one of those issues where the string that gets put in is like at an invalid place? Let's see. No, but this just creates a UUID here. Let's see. The key max length is 37. Oh, this has to be 37. And this one is not used anymore, so let's get rid of that. Yeah, it has to be 37. It has to be the same. Actually, we can grab whatever thing it should be from this. If I can get my LSP to start working. No, yeah, I don't know why it crashes on me. Let me just check this on the GitHub. No, this is the wrong problem. There's like a couple of different UUID packages. Let me check here. Version 4, new. No, it's gonna be serialize. This returns an earn. It's 37, or I mean 36, but then we need to add one because it's 0 terminated. So it's gonna be uid.earn, or is it earn.earn? Perhaps length plus 1. Type has no members. Okay. Sig get array length. Yeah, it's a type, but I want the length. Get array get type. So I'm pretty sure you can use like type info, but I wanted to see if there's like a better way, maybe. I'm gonna check standard library here. Length. Length. Okay, so we'll do type info, and then it's gonna be dot array, I think, or actually, wait, no, it's gonna be dot small lowercase there, array, and then dot length. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Well, this still doesn't work. And it crashed. Assertion failed. Buff length +1 is less than we get the buff size. Is your input properly? Buff 0 terminated. Right. I mean, I guess we could set the key to be like 64 or something, just to make sure that we have it there, because you might also want to have like a longer key, I guess. But I think we usually set it. Is it crashing? Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on now. We're setting the buffer here to the capacity. That should be like 64 or whatever. Then we do set format. This one prints to the buffer. Yes. So what is the issue? Right. I mean, we're doing the same thing as the method data, and that seems to work fine. So I can't find this things. Hmm. Yeah, I actually don't understand what's going on. Okay, let's look at the error message again. So we get this here, we open this up. This should immediately... Okay, so I think it's when you focus on it, it crashes. It's an error somewhere. Right, so assertion failed. This one And is your init buffer properly zero terminate? So I am going to copy this and search GitHub here. It's in widgets. Now the thing is there's like different versions that has some major changes, so I'm not even sure if I can find the correct thing here. So yeah, can I find the file? Okay, let's do. I'm gonna show you here as well. Okay, so it's in widgets 4571. So can I jump somewhere? $4,571. Yeah, it's not the same. Okay. I think anyway. Unless this is the thing. No. Where did it go here? Okay. Well, okay, whatever. So it's like it takes in the buffer. It looks at the length, like the max length of the buffer, which is like 64, which is, I guess, the size. But then you have the length, which is the thing. Okay, 1 second here. I'm getting a call. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Right, so I'm assuming the size is like the max size, length is whatever the thing is. So apparently, maybe there's something wrong with, like, when we create a new entrance. It might also be wrong with the clone function. So let's actually go to, let's look at the drag payload. So here we handle create entity and we get a payload, where the payload actually has the entity, I think, in it. Let's look at C non-persistent data. Gonna have a drag payload. Yes. Okay. And so we're getting this, and then this one is used. So we get position. And then we set this here, okay. Right, so the payload is already created, but then we do this init function. So let's go here and we get the entity type and we just set it right there. And we don't really do anything else, I guess, with this. So it's like whenever it's created, it's actually whenever you like focus on the input where it crashes, but it seems like the key is wrong maybe from the start as well. So let's see where we select entity. Right. Here we set the payload to tag. Oh, this is just a tag. But here it has the full type. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so I'm a bit confused now because we're setting this to just the bare tag. This one, like, this is not the full and scene entity type. It's just a tag of like which type it is. Then we loop through that. We get the tag here. Oh, because it's only for these things which doesn't have any more things. Okay. So that actually works. But then we have exit and we have entrance. So here we go. Here we have entrance. Right, and then we create this payload here, right, with the init function. Okay, so entrance here, where we actually format it. Okay, so we're formatting it here. Maybe there's something wrong with this init format function then, because it should be setting the thing to 0. We're using buff print set, so I'm not sure why it doesn't work. Okay, so there might be something wrong with the memory then. I mean, we are initializing a new thing there. Here we're initializing a new string. The string can be copied. It's copyable, so because the underlying buffer has the pointer in it, so it shouldn't be an issue there. Is this one actually used? I don't think so. Was used here? Yeah, it doesn't matter. What's the issue? Actually, is it the entrance that we're dealing with? Maybe it's the exit. Maybe I'm just dreaming here. No, it has to be. Wait, maybe it's the exit. I forgot which one was like yellow and... Okay, let's check the exit as well. So the scene file name also should probably be made into a string Z thing, but we don't really use that as the same way. We don't really use it in buffer. Hang on. Let's go to scene layout there. We have our entities here. Right, so when we draw the exit, it's gonna be what? Exit texture, which is exit image. Okay, the exit is white, the entrance is yellow. So that's actually correct. Then we're using this correct thing. Well, that doesn't help me. Okay, I don't like this structure. Let's just flat this out. And this just sets it here, so Like, I'm not even sure if it's the key that's the issue or if it might be metadata as well. But no, it has to be key because that when you focus on it, it crashes. So now it should like exist, right? When we get this weird, so it has to be like the memory is invalid, right? You can see here we get some garbage stuff, so it has to be the memory that's the issue. Yeah, and now it crashes when it tries to like deallocate, I think. Double free as well. Huh. Okay. And it's gonna be key, okay. Hmm. Yeah. Actually, what happens? Couldn't we do this? Oh, it needs to be serious. But can't we pointer cast it? Right, we need to. Now it crashes even quicker. Index out of bound. Okay, so this obviously did not work. What is the issue? There's a test of patience here. And it's not gonna be solved by just staring at the screen. But yeah, I'm trying to find like ways to attack this problem, but I've exhausted a lot of angles. So I also have this tick where I just, you know, save all files. So the weird thing is that metadata works perfectly. Like you can save it, you can reload, open, it's gonna be saved, right? We'll delete this, save, reload, everything works perfect. But this, for some reason, doesn't work And I mean, it has to do with something here. So let's think this through. This just returns an array, right? If we check the type here, which is sig UID. So if I show, where is it? It's gonna be the same thing, yeah. So it's in here, the earn serialize. It returns an earn, which is just 36 U8s, right? So I'm just trying to print this here. Oh, I didn't know that how the UUID was structured. We got time and stuff. Okay, so we're returning this type here. And that's what comes out here. So we have an array with stuff. Now, what's the problem with that? Should we slice it? Do we have to slice this? When we're doing it like this. It feels weird that we would have to slice it. No. Because it feels like it's not the value here that's the issue. Let's just try putting anything in here. Let's just try putting some weird stuff in here. Maybe it's like the init function itself that's the issue here. Yeah, so we still get this issue. Let's go back. Let's just do this so we can sort of test this. Oops. Okay. Now let's go over to our string here. So we're creating a new buffer. We're allocating with the sentinel the buffer. So this self.buffer should be pointing to a new place now. Then we do set format, which it's here, takes self buffer as a target, and that should be a pointer that's pointing to the heap somewhere. Then we take the format and the arguments here and just put them straight up down here, right? So, and since we're using buffprintz, it should also put a 0 at the end. Okay. I'm also gonna try some, so I don't see anything wrong here. I'm also gonna try, and since we're only using like 4 and I want to see the entire string, I'm just gonna say the capacity is 6. Okay. So let's see what it's looking like now. Okay, so you can see here we got a bunch of question marks. To me that says that it's pointing to some garbage place. You can see when we add another one we actually get a weird thing here. It actually extends beyond the length as well. So is it deallocating it? Is that the issue? Is it getting deallocated somehow? I mean, it seems to happen either when it gets created here, or when a drag payload gets created. Because here we're not cloning anything, we're not deinitializing anything from what I can see. So wait, what's this one? Draw. Oh, I think I found the issue. Perhaps. Okay. I think we need a different function here. Okay, so the issue is here, like when we are creating a new component, we start to drag. When we drag, you can see we're drawing the entity here, but the entity is not like fully created yet. But we're using like just like a cheat code here. We are creating a temporary entity, and then we're deinitializing it in order to just be able to draw it, and then we're creating it, we're drawing it, and then we're throwing it away just to be able to draw it. The issue here is when we deinitialize, it's actually deinitializing the payload here as well. So either we can copy sort of the payload, or we can make a different function here that does not need to take the entire entity, but it can just take what does it use here? The scale? Right. Okay. Let's make another function here. I don't know what to call it. Okay. And we get a tag maybe, which is gonna be entity type. This is gonna be field tag, whatever it's called, field enum. field. What was it called? Field enum of seed entity type. Okay. I have to do that manually because the thing doesn't work. Okay, so we have tag. Which is the field enum. And we need position. Right. So instead of switching on type, we switch on tag. We also, yeah, that's the scale. We also need like a like entity scale. I will call this F position. Okay, and then we have the time map. We're not gonna actually need this, I guess, but we do want, I mean, no, this is only gonna be for these things when you don't actually have entity. So we don't, yeah, we don't need the entity scale. We just wanna, yeah, we just need tag and position. So here, this is gonna be position times that. Okay. Let's also do that. Okay. And then we also have like entity types. So that's actually going to be tag. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh yeah, we have E here as well, which is the scale. So we don't need that. We can remove this. Wait, this is in correct place. No, here's the place. So we'll remove this, and then we don't do this, and we don't really need scale. We can just do this, that, and there we go. Right, so now we have this other function which we can use instead, which is specifically for this. So we don't need to create a new entity, we don't need to deinitialize it. What we need to do is we need to pass in whatever we had. Context, tag, and position. So the tag is going to be payload. Yeah, that's just going to be payload, I think. And position is going to be position. Of course, we have compilation errors. Expected type 34. Type info tag type, found entity type. Wait, why does it need to be? It doesn't need to be a thing there. Also, self does not need to be a pointer. I guess it's fine. Okay. Switch on tag. Switch must handle all possibilities. Okay. Fine. So we'll do else. We don't do anything because we're not handling that. Actually, let's do time map. If it's a time map, we don't care. Right now. What's this? Runtime correction from type info, scene and type unit tag type to union scene and step has non-void fields. Yeah, so we have the tag, although this actually looks at the thing, which it doesn't actually need to be. It can actually just be the email. Probably gonna give it other errors as well. And this one as well, we don't need this to be the actual type. Should probably make this into a type as well. Okay, there we go. So let's try and create one here. There we go. Now this works. I even have the max thing there as well. Okay. Wow, that took a lot of effort to fix that tiny issue. Okay, I'm glad it worked out. So now my brain just empties everything from it and I don't even remember what I did. So to fix it, yeah, something with the drag payload, which, oh yeah, when we deinitialized the entity, which deinitialized the thing, which we probably didn't do before, and we did it to draw the entity, but we didn't really need to create an entity to do that. So we made a new function to be able to draw the entity. Excuse me. And yeah, so now we don't actually get an error there. Great. What else? Yeah, we need to fix the key back to what it was. So let's just have 64 to make sure that we have enough for whatever key you want. And yeah, because it doesn't have to be exactly like they serialize it, because the thing is, you don't really, this is just to make you have a unique key in case you need it, because you're probably just gonna put whatever key you want anyway, to name it something like right or left or start, which was what I was gonna do. I was gonna try and do the start. So if we name this start, it's gonna actually put the player at this start here. So if we save this now, we exit, we go in, and if we look at this now, it says start. Wow, okay, so it works. So now let's see if we can actually launch this. I'm not sure if we can because the format has slightly changed. So that's gonna be interesting. No, it crashed. Well, that's to be expected. So yeah, unexpected token, error redefined. So yeah, that was what I was expecting. So the game code needs to also be fixed here to match the thing. So we have a scene, and when we read this in, this is an array list managed, but but when we read this thing in, okay, so here we actually have like JSON stringify, we have this thing, and this is an array list. So what is the difference? We are writing our, wait, yeah, this is just an array. Okay, I'm confused now. Where does it properly deal with this? Oh, yeah. I'm using, okay. Yeah, I'm using this thing. Okay, it was kind of hidden to me, but yeah, I'm using, yeah, all this crap. Okay, I'm using this parse object and so I got some convenience functions. So I got write object and parse object. All right. So these ones actually handle like array lists. So write object goes, it just uses the JSON writer to write a new object. We're beginning an object here, we're going through all the fields, we're making the field here, the key, and then the value. And the value is by using this function, which looks at the type of the value and determines, is it an array list? Then we write, we have a special case for the array list, and it's just writing the array without, we're not writing the whole object here, we're just writing out the items. So that way, yeah, we're just writing out the array. Okay, and then we have a row which just writes the value directly. Okay, and then we call this function. So it's not recursive though. So if you have an array list where you have items in it that also has like array lists in them, you have to implement JSON parse and JSON stringify on those as well. So I've been through this before, but yeah, that's how it works. So every struct that has an array list has to implement these two, but the upside is that they all look, these two, this snippet of code that I'm selecting here looks the same for all of those, so you don't need to implement a special thing there. You just have to copy paste this, and you don't have to change anything. You just have to copy paste this in and it will work, because it will automatically work with any type basically. Okay, so I just forgot that that was why they were there. I was kind of thinking before that, oh, why do we have this there? It looks like it just writes itself and it parses itself, so why do we have this? But I forgot that we have this sort of magical JSON parse and write thing. Okay, right, so I think we probably need to do the same thing actually for the other thing. So I actually wanna copy this now. Yeah, I've done a lot of experiments with trying different ways to automatically transform an object that has array lists into a more serializable friendly way by either doing it with just the functions here or making a new type that can be serialized in a better way. But yeah, it's a huge hassle to deal with as far as I can tell. And then I have all these things that we don't actually use anywhere. Actually, we use it here. So yeah, this one we're parsing. Yeah, the parsing was also a nightmare. So this is, we're parsing shallow. Yes. Right, so shallow, it basically means, I was trying to do a deep conversion before, but shallow is basically just, we're looking at a type and we're checking, okay, is this a struct? Okay, then we make a new struct where all the array lists are just an array. Everything else stays the same. It just does it shallowly, so only the first sort of layer in the object is going to be replaced. And then because the thing is that when you're doing JSON parse on the struct, it will use that function to parse it. So it will still work sort of recursively, but you still have to define it on all the objects that has it. So yes, so we actually do use this here to be able to load this in as an array instead, like the fields that are array lists. And then we go through each field. We're initializing the object with these functions. Yeah. Okay. So I think I was just looking for what do I need to like copy over, and I think I just copy over everything here. So let's just copy over everything except for some things. So copy that. Let's open JSON. Oops. Put this in there. Let's just remove this and this. Okay. Right. So now we have that. And now we can go to scene and we can just put parse and stringify. Well, we don't really need stringify because we're not gonna stringify it. We only need parse. So let's go back here and we'll copy this and put this here. Right. So now we have that. We also need here. And JSON as well. Okay. Is there anything else we need this on? I don't think so. Maybe like the time map. No, that's just the entity. Let's check out this type here because we might actually, yeah, here we have an array list as well. Although here we have like a JSON version. From file. Right, so we probably need to, yeah, we probably need, we might already have a JSON parse here. No, we don't. Okay, I think we need to put JSON parse here as well. Oops. Oh, don't tell me I get some naming conflicts here. Ah, okay, so this one, let's just, I guess we'll just call it JSON data, I guess. Okay. What else do we have? We have scenes. Yeah, the time up layer has tiles. Yeah, this one also needs a parse function. There we go. Okay. Will it work? It will be a miracle if it just works now. It's probably gonna get some compilation errors or something. Ah, it crashed. Okay, no more unexpected tokens at least. So let's check where it crashed here. Unknown field. Interesting. Which field will be unknown? I mean, I guess we can just say ignore unknown fields for now. Where was this happening? Level? Metadata. Okay, let's check the metadata. Maybe there's like error. Yeah, this one I think. Yeah, okay, let's remove this NPC because I don't think we need metadata on that. Okay, there we go. It actually works. So that was the issue, like with that. So okay, so we can load the scene now. Cool. Let's see if we can load in something else here. Here's another scene. Let's enable the sound so you can hear. Maybe, I don't know if it's too loud. Oh, the scene transition crashed. Interesting. Unwrap unexpected token. Loading scene, test village. Okay, let's see if we can open it in the editor. No. Did I forget to? Oh, the demo time map, the demo village. Okay. Do we have that here? Okay, let's copy this to objects. I thought I did that though. Actually, no. Okay, so well, let's just copy over everything to projects. Okay, and now we need to do that thing with update. Oops. Let's do the scene first. Demo scene, and that's the only scene. Okay, so now I just want to do this first so we can see that it's correct. I think it's the first one that does like everything. So this one takes time map. Actually, this needs to be items. It takes the time map. Items. It takes each item there, and the active layer also is changed. And then layers is changed there, and then tiles is also changed. Okay, and history is squashed. Great. I think that should be good. Now let's try on time map. Wait. Demo village time map. Cannot iterate over null. Okay. Oops. Was it already converted? No. Here we can see we have this capacity here, which is like the array list. We have capacity. It's quite large files, so let's see. The first wait, active layer is in the wrong spot, I think. Isn't active layer supposed to be at the top? Yeah, this is weird. Right? Well, actually it's in the time map, I guess, so that should be good. And then we have, this is the time map. Oh, I see. This was actually correct, so this is how it should be. Yeah. Whoops. Okay, yeah, now it looks better. All right, so let's do it for real. Demo village, yes. And then we have the other one. Demo times. And demo swamp. Okay, now let's disarm this. Okay. now we should have more things. Yeah, so this one still points to the same file, so we also need to go and do update the references here. Wait, oops. I need these. Well, it's actually just going to be the demo. Or the... well, it's going to be the test 2, I think. No? No, it's going to be the demo. Which one am I? Test village. Okay, yeah. Test village. Here we go. So let's do this. And now we should be able to open it. No? Demo village. Why is it like a different format? Oh, this one is already updated. Okay, now there we go. Okay, and this one works, and but this one does not work. Yeah. So wait. But this one doesn't have anything in it. Okay. So demo village is just a time map that we're using. Okay. So the demo village scene doesn't work really. Then we have test.scene. I'm not sure if that actually exists either. We have forced entrance. Yes, that's the exit to the left. And then test is exit to the right, which was the one that didn't work. So it's going to be test scene, but we don't have that file. Is that why it crashed? Yeah. So we don't have it. So but isn't that... Okay, let's copy it as well. Where is it? Okay, let's just do demo swamp, I guess. Swamp area 1. Although that's a different area, I think. Or did the other one like disappear? Demo swamp area 1. Oh, we don't have it as a scene. Okay, so we have it as a like a time map only. So I'm not sure where that scene went actually. If we look at all the scenes here, oh, now this one doesn't work. Demo the what? Demo village scene. Village scene. I think we can just remove this. We kill this off. Yeah. Wait. No. Okay. It's gone. Yeah, this is the village. But this scene seems to have disappeared. Yeah, we have two different here. Okay, it's whatever, really. We still have the time maps. The time map is this time up here. So this, we have a scene here. I mean, it's very easily recreated. I can actually do that right now. I'll create a new scene. This is going to be the demo swamp area 1, I guess we can call it. Right, and we set the time map there. We can put a starting position here. And this is going to be the village. So now we got that connection there. This one. Whoops. Oh, I didn't save. Okay, it didn't save it. So we have to redo this. Start key. Let's save it so that exists at least. We need an entrance, exit. This exit's gonna be the village. Now we saved it, we can go back and forth. Okay. And we can say this has so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Actually, I think it's enough. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. And then we don't have anything down there or over there. Okay. And we just add some monsters. Okay, and there we go. Of course it crashes. Wait. Well, do we have leaks as well? Usually get a whole bunch of errors when you have a leak. Okay, untimed unexpected end of input. Oh, I think it's trying to read. Right, it's trying to read the metadata. Okay, so this. Right, this is this has to be left, and then this exit actually has to have like metadata. It has to have entrance key is right. Okay, then we go over here and we'll check. This has entrance key left, and then this one is right. But then we also want to set this to 14 and this to 14 as well, and then we move them up like that, and then we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I really should make this automated, but whatever. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna try the transition, and the transition works. Great. Did it lag a bit when it transitioned there? Oh, it actually lags a little bit the first time. Or is it just me? It definitely looks like it lags. Okay, but yes. I'm just gonna check the transition over here as well. Yeah. So I think the issues that are left are basically gonna be like because we didn't convert the maps or something. Yeah, it seems to work. Okay. Yeah. Great. So. Yeah. Okay. Now let's see. Where are we? I just need to check something here. Okay, so we have now these entities. So here, for example, we have entity type, and it's so this is if we look at so what I was gonna show basically at the beginning of this whole thing was that when you are in the scene editor, you have this list of entities that you can sort of drag in and create like this. But they are hard-coded, these entities here. So what I've done is I've done this entity type editor as well, where you can define entities as you wish. And what I'm thinking is, well, for one, I really want to make this assets manager more better looking here. But the entity types is gonna basically be able to scan all entity types in the project and then have them like in a list like this, or some other way. Maybe you can even drag them in from here, because you might see like the icon that with the same icon that's over here, you can select which icon it is from the texture here, and then it's maybe we can have it show up here, and you can drag it in from there, because then what we can do is have that as a sort of generic way of interacting with different types of these assets, so that when you're in a scene or you want to interact with something else, or you want to connect maybe an animation or something, just like in I think Unity and Unreal, where you have like a component that takes an input which is something like an animation or an entity type or anything, another scene. Like for this one, for example, here we actually this is an entrance. I was thinking of an exit. So this one, we're setting a target. This is like a hard-coded thing right now. So we're setting a target. This actually expects a scene file. And so what we could do instead is have like an input that says which scene it is, and then you can drag this scene onto that to set the scene to whatever you dragged in. So that way you can make this assets manager more utilize it more, because it's basically showing all the different things that you can use. So but for now, I think we can create these entity types. We want to, when we're in here, instead of showing this hard-coded list, we want to scan all the entity types that are in here, and maybe just show them in this list like this. So yeah, I think that's what we want to do. So well, let's start with that. So let's go to our scene layout and take a sip. Okay. For draw, we don't really have anything. Well, we have a drag payload, I guess. No, that's gonna be fine. We have for menu here, we have some hard-coded list somewhere. Here we go. Here's the hard-coded list of entities. And so we basically don't use this anymore, except for exit and entrance, which is sort of like a special kind of entity that we have right now. But those are actually going to be able to be fully like custom, is the idea, because you're going to be able to like reference other scenes and like time maps and stuff. So you're going to be able to actually create this as custom entities instead, I think, at least. I mean, we might want to keep them as special entities, but or just, you know, default maybe things. But anyway, all of these are gonna disappear, so we'll remove this. So now this should be like empty now. Yeah, wait, we need to open up. Yeah, so now we don't have any entities here. Okay, but we want to create them. So how do we do this? We need a way to like query the assets manager, also recursively for a specific, I guess, a specific type of file node. So we have this asset library structure, and we have the current files and directories is the current directory only. It's not recursive. So the view that you see is actually only that. Maybe we should make us able to draw in from the assets library. Yeah, because then you can use the assets library as to maybe search for stuff. You can use, yeah, that makes sense. We don't actually want to add it to this weird list here. Okay, so what we want to do then is we want to go to the assets library. Well, the assets manager UI thing here. So here's that, like the imgui sort of function here. And what we want to do is we want to be able to drag assets. Now, how do we do that? So here's where we go through all the nodes in the current files and directories. We're grabbing out some stuff and we're making this selectable here, which is the actual like box that you can see. And we have some label stuff. So here is we have the drag and drop functionality. We have it here. So you do begin drag drop source, and I think that one should be like in. So it's basically the previous item, I guess, that you're rendering. So let's copy this and put it after here, maybe, or after here. I don't know. So there. Now we need to have a payload. So this is basically just we're changing some sort of almost global state to set as what you're currently dragging. And for this one, we should probably just use we could just use the file node here. So we need a place to store the payload. Well, okay, let's try this actually. Let's try just doing the motion and see what happens, because now we have a drop source. You can see here. You see here that we're actually dragging and we can drop. Drag and drop. So that was easy. But now we need to define like what is the payload. So let's see. I think maybe we'll put it in the assets library, and we have the drag payload, which is a nullable, I guess it's a node. Okay, so we go back here and we say, yeah, drag payload is equal to, where is this one? Yeah, we need this to be mutable, and this one as well. Okay. Okay. Now I can set drag payload, and it's just gonna be node here. I guess it could be a pointer. Doesn't really matter, I guess, because the node. Well, I guess the node is just a bunch of pointers. It's not really that much, but anyway. So then we have that. Okay, now we have the payload, and we set it here. So when we drop, when we do a drop, we can use the payload to do whatever we need to do, and it's gonna depend on like what type of editor you're using. I mean, let's say you're in the animation editor, maybe you can drop in a texture to change the texture or something like that. But anyway, now we can go to our scene and no, layout scene, and then we basically want to do I'm thinking like how, like where do we engage this? Like you start to drag an entity and I guess we just do the same thing here. We just look at here, we look at the payload. If the payload is, but here's like for scene document, we want to do it for the other one as well. So this is like drag payload for the scene document, which is like exit and entrance entities. So we're gonna basically keep this way of doing it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna copy this and basically do the same thing here, except it's from the assets manager. Handle input create entity from assets manager. Very long name. I wonder if there's like a limit to that. Okay, so and then the drag payload is gonna be, so let's grab this. Well, it's gonna be context current project does assets library, and then the payload is this. If we don't have a payload, we do return. Okay, so now we have a node. The node is basically just a where is it? File name. So it's either a file or a directory. If it's a directory, we don't really want to do anything. If it's a file, we want to check the type of the document, and we will check if it's an entity type. So if it's an entity type, then we want to go ahead and like initialize it. So I think maybe what we actually want to do is like convert this. So we sort of convert it into the scene entity maybe. So we could like delete the drag load from assets library and convert it into scene document payload. But if we do that, then we're gonna have to change that later. Well, that's a good way of dealing with it like early right now, I guess. Because then it's kind of like, yeah, we take over and then we use like the same sort of logic that we have up here. So we don't really need to implement this again down here. And but maybe we should. We we have all the information that we need. Yeah, we could just request the document. So let's say we have the drag payload. Now, if the drag payload right, we need to switch, and we need to check for, wait, it's file, wait, is it, it's like this, right? File, we need to dereference it. If it's a file, then we do something. If it's a directory, we return. If it's a file, we check on the document, what was it called? Type. Right, and if that is an entity type, then I mean, I basically want this whole expression to be the entity type. Yeah. If it's anything else, we also return. Okay, so here we're just grabbing out the entity type. If it's a file, and if the type is an entity type, we grab it out. Okay, so now we should have that. Unless I did something wrong here, but I probably did, but the compiler's gonna catch it, fortunately. So now we have the entity type, and now we know that we have an entity type, so now we can create the thing. Oh yeah, we're just, yeah. So we're creating it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, let's try that first. I know we're not gonna get like the graphical thing yet, where we drag in and you see the thing while you're dragging. But at least this will make it work, hopefully. So we create the entity. Space for it there. We have the position. That should be the same. We populate the entity with this, but the payload, oh yeah, the payload. So the payload is actually, this requires where is this? Utils. No, this one. So it actually requires the entire thing. Where are we? Here. So we need like the payload. So we need like the entity type here. The actual thing. Like entity type data. I don't know what to call it. Actually, let's call this entity type tag, and then this will actually be entity type. And we actually, yeah, we need to create this entity type based on the tag, and we're already doing that somewhere else. We're doing it right here. Yeah, this whole thing creates that. Actually, we probably only need to do this. Yeah, we only need the tag. Okay. Let's go back. Where is it? No. Here. So it's just gonna be the tag actually. Yeah. Okay. And same thing here. But this only works because we have this like hard-coded, I guess, right now. So we're gonna have to fix that. It's gonna have to be like, instead of being a tag, it's gonna have to be like a string, like a, yeah. Okay, but anyway, let's make it work like this for now, and we'll fix that later. So position, we're populating it here. We are appending it into entities, into the scene, and we are deleting the drag payload. So this is actually gonna be here. Can we do this? Okay. Okay, and now we need to call this function from our update thing. Right. So this is gonna get run like every frame basically, and it's gonna check, do we have a payload that we're currently dragging, and that's the only thing we need to know that, okay, we are in drag state. And then if we release our left mouse button, then we stop the drag, we create an entity. We should also check if we are in bounds. So do we do that somewhere? Yeah, this just returns a vector straight up. So it's not really checking if we're in bounds here. Because yeah, okay, but let's try it. Of course we get some compiler errors. Expected optional type found as library node 229. Right, so this, okay. So can we do this? Prong required. Else prong required with switching on type. Okay. Interesting. Wait, why is else prong? Why is that required? I mean, I guess we just return. Because we have all the prongs, as they call it. Expected type assets library node found type in them literal. Oh, wait. Hang on. This is a nullable to a pointer of a node. Yes. Right, and then so we need to do this, I think. And now it complains about this. Okay. Okay. Expected found type info. Tag type question mark, tag type to question mark. Document content. What? Wait, expected scene entity type, right? Found document content. What? Oh. Right. So this is the entity. Oh, okay, I'm stupid. Document type. Yeah. So we don't want. Okay. I'll remove this. I don't know what I was thinking here. So this one we just break. Can you do that? And now it should complain about 237. Okay, so I was gonna do yeah, we need to grab the entity type document. So that's gonna be context request document. Do we have context here? Yes. And I wanna make. Okay, so we request document. This is gonna be well, it's gonna be F and a file path, I think. So that's we're gonna grab that, and then if we don't find it, we're gonna return. Okay. So now we have the document, and the document is gonna have the tag. So the document. Well, the tag. Actually, the tag doesn't exist here. Man, my brain is not working properly. So we actually have something called key. Oh, it's gonna be get key, I think. Entity type document. Yeah. So here's the document. So this is like or get ID, I think. Yeah, we can use get ID. We can. No, the ID is just a. Yeah, it's just a UUID. I think I would rather use name, maybe. I mean, it's gonna have to be something that is identifiable from the game code. So you could say, like, if the name is equal to NPC, you spawn an NPC. If the name is equal to Cleat, you spawn like a monster, you spawn the monster. That's the idea. So the name is actually the identifier that we're gonna use to spawn the thing, to identify the thing. So ID is just, I guess, for convenience, it's gonna be like automatically an ID that you're gonna be able to reference. So even if you change the name here, I guess the reference is still gonna be the ID to this entity type. Well, we'll see. So it's gonna be get name. That's like the name. Let's call it name instead. Now we actually need to change quite a bit here. So we need to change how we do this. I still do this even though I know it's over here. Okay, so here we got like entity type. Maybe we should change this to like an entity type document now instead. What the hell? Okay, so yeah, I actually have to go now, apparently. So yeah, we did a bunch of things, and yeah, we're gonna continue with this next time. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and